Opening credits. The Wolf's Ride. Biker Werewolf Shifter Paranormal Romance. By Selena Coffey. Auto-narrated using Google technology. Chapter 1. The moon streamed through the pines lining the deserted highway. Clear skies filled with clusters of tiny lights offered a perfect evening for a ride. Liam glanced up, enjoying the chilly breeze on his face and arms. Twisting the throttle, he let his Indian chieftain loose. The speedometer eased past 80, pushing 90 as he entered the first coastal curve near Big Sur. Rolling his gloved hand forward again, he urged the bike closer to 100. He didn't care about the dangers. That was half the fun of taking the coastal highway. Besides, if the road took him, it didn't matter. Gravel danced under the tires as he leaned into the first turn, allowing his body to flow with the movement of the bike. Shifting to the other side, he leaned again, following the flow of the next curve. Nothing compared to the feeling of freedom a ride like this gave him. Unfortunately, the empty space against his back only fed the emptiness inside him. Meagan closed the cover of her laptop as she sat back against the cool leather enveloping her desk chair. Sighing, thinking how far behind schedule she was with her latest manuscript. Darlene will call tomorrow and it's still not ready. She glanced at her desk, pictures carefully placed on one side, each with a photo of her holding up her new book. 4 best-selling romance novels, all published within the last 2 years. Number 5 refused to deliver itself. Picking up the 5th picture, she fingered the image. This frame held the only other photo on her desk, her parents. She lost them both 6 months earlier, just after the publication of her 4th novel. Her grief seemed to have taken over everything, including her writing. Her thoughts drifted over memories of her family's cabin, tucked away in the woods north of the city. It was a 3-hour drive, but this time of year it would be quiet and she could focus on her work. Meagan smiled at their images, placed the picture back in its proper place, and headed to the bedroom. Less than an hour later, suitcase, briefcase, and keys in hand, Meagan maneuvered her car into the light evening traffic. Heading towards the highway, she slipped into the merge lane and turned north along the coastal highway. Meagan stopped midway along the route to enjoy the sunset at one of the many lookout points. Smiling, she slipped back into her car and released the latches on the roof, pressed the magic button and watched as it folded itself neatly into the hidden compartment. Sunsets were beautiful, but she loved driving with the top down at night. Her father and mother never would have approved of a convertible. She could hear her father warning her of the dangers, and her mother worrying that she'd be seen as fast or loose. Meagan chuckled. No one ever looked at her like that, not even the few dates she'd been on. After they died, she decided it was time to be herself, and the car was her first step. Meagan could see the moon in the distance to the east, as it disappeared among the huge pines to her right. Turning on the radio, she allowed herself to relax and enjoy the evening breeze on her bare forearms. I've been cooped up too long. An hour later, Meagan stopped at the last grocery store for supplies. Several motorcycles held the spots in front of the store. She felt her heart skip a beat. She'd never actually met anyone who rode a motorcycle, or who was in a gang before. Settle down, 5 large bikes do not make a gang. Maybe they're couples traveling the coast. Her thoughts teased with the idea of what it would feel like riding behind someone who was strong. The vibration of the bike between her legs, her arms wrapped around his waist, and the evening wind blowing over both of them, it brought a slight tremor to her center. Pushing the idea of driving away out of her mind, she parked the car carefully. Meagan didn't want to risk either the bikes or her car. Grabbing 2 reusable shopping bags, she headed into the store. Meagan paused at the door, noticing several large men with broad shoulders and leather jackets moving about the store. Taking a deep breath, she pressed her way in and started to collect what she needed. "Meagan, is that you?" Everyone called her Meagan. She wished for something less formal. She turned. The feeling of trepidation washed away when she saw the shop owner, Tom, walk over to her. "Hi, Tom. It's been a while. Your folks with you?" The blanket of sadness slipped back over her. "No, they died in a plane crash 6 months ago." "I'm so sorry. You headed to the cabin?" nodding. I wanted to get away for a bit. He started to say something, but the sound of a fist pounding on his front counter pulled his attention. She watched his expression, not sure if it was fear she saw or not. I'll be right back. He squeezed her shoulder before heading towards the front. She turned her attention back to her quest. Collecting a few canned goods, she noticed two of the men step into the same aisle. One turned, saying something she couldn't make out, revealing the elaborate patch on the back of his jacket. It was the face of a wolf, but not like any wolf she'd seen before. The face was angry, teeth bared with blood dripping from the fangs. He turned. See something you like, little lady? His tone was gruff, but his eyes suggested he'd show her more than his jacket. Meagan blushed, feeling like a child caught with their hand in the cookie jar. She turned back to the shelf, grabbed the can displayed and moved down the aisle. She could hear bawdy laughter from the two men. Calling after her, "Don't be shy, sweetheart. I don't bite." Both laughed again, but there was something dark behind it. Meagan disappeared into the next aisle. Just ignored them. She continued shopping, hoping that was the end of it. Maybe Papa was right. Another man, wearing a leather vest, approached her. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and had thick muscular arms. She caught her breath, in fear and in something she didn't understand. She kept her eyes on the shelves. He stopped beside her. "You'll have to forgive Branson. He has little manners." His voice was smooth and deep. Her heart fluttered. Glancing at him quickly, "It's all right." He reached over, cupping his hand under her chin. His fingers were strong and a little rough against her skin. "I can see why he noticed you." She watched his nostrils flare as he looked at her. She tried to move her face from his touch, though part of her didn't want to. He held it still when she tried to turn away. Her brow furrowed, watching his eyes grow darker, taking her in completely. Her heart thudded in her, censored, threatening to explode. She wanted to run, but at the same time, she didn't want the feeling to end. "Come with me." She looked at him, his expression serious. "Why, you don't even know me." The censored to run started to suppress the need to understand the feelings. He licked his lips as he watched her mouth move. He moved closer. Gerard Duncan found him. Another wearing the same jacket stood at the end of the aisle. Meagan's eyes widened as she thought she heard a low growl. He caressed her lips with his thumb. "I'll find you later." He smiled, stepped back and disappeared. Trembling, she leaned against the shelves, hearing the roar of their motorcycles coming to life. She found it hard to catch her breath. Tom caught her arm before she fainted. Chapter 2. A half-hour later, Meagan put the supplies in her car and headed toward the cabin. Tom had her stay for a cup of tea, wanting to make sure she was all right after the encounter with the bikers. Continuing north, she spotted motorcycles parked outside a roadside tavern. She didn't slow down, but found herself depressing the accelerator, not taking a breath until she was well past it. A loud pop forced her to slow the car. The steering wheel shook in her hands. Pulling off to the side, she climbed out of the car and walked around to the passenger side. Her shoulders slumped when she saw the front passenger tire was flat. Great. Stepping to the back, Meagan opened the trunk to find the jack and lug wrench. Having never changed a tire before, Meagan had no idea what to do. Her father never showed her how to do things he considered man's work. Heading back to the passenger door, she leaned in to dig her cell phone out of her bag. Just as she found the number for roadside assistance, a bright light flooded her field of vision as the sound of a motorcycle stopped in front of her car. Her heart jumped into her throat. Meagan raised her hand to block the bright headlight. The person walking towards her was tall and broad-shouldered. His figure blocked out the light, casting a strong silhouette around him. Not knowing what to do, she was at the mercy of whoever he was. She just hoped it wasn't the one from the store. Once her eyes adjusted, she could see it wasn't. Breathing a sigh of relief, her breath caught again. The man standing before her wore a leather jacket, a dark t-shirt that seemed to strain against a muscular, censored, low-slung jeans and boots. She bit her lower lip, taking in the sight. "Having trouble?" His voice was deep but soft. It sang in her ears. "Why, yes. Flat tire. He smiled. If you've got a jack, I'll take care of it for you. Meagan couldn't pull her eyes away from him. Oh yes, in the trunk. Her phone thudded against the seat. Meagan stepped to the back of the car, grabbed the jack and lug wrench. Meagan held them against her stomach, lost in the warmth traveling through her. He smiled again. Did you want help? With what? Chuckling, he said, the flat tire. I'm sorry. Feeling the warmth moving into her cheeks with a blush, Meagan handed him the jack and lug wrench. It's the front passenger. Do you have a flashlight? Nodding, Meagan returned to the front of the car. Leaning over the door, she pulled the flashlight out of the glove compartment. Turning back, she was surprised to find him standing so close. His deep green eyes watched her move. Hold it on the tire for me. Stepping to one side, Meagan shined the light on the flat tire. Her eyes widened, watching him shed the leather jacket. His back muscles rippled under the cotton shirt. Meagan was enjoying the view. Her thoughts slipped into unfamiliar territory. She watched his hands work the wrench and wondered what they would feel like touching her. She wasn't naive to how relationships were, but her parents raised her to save herself. They never had to know about the quiet nights spent learning about her body. Her mind filled with fantasies of a man with strong hands claiming her as his own. In no time, the old tire was off and the spare was in its place. It happened all too quickly for Meagan. He stood, that should do it. He headed back to the trunk to replace the tools and blown tire. Meagan followed. I don't know how to thank you. He smiled, green eyes twinkling. You just did. She blushed again. I'm Meagan. She smiled, catching him, watching her mouth. Liam. His left hand reached up, closed the trunk. Do you have far to go? No, the cabin is just a mile or so up the road. Inside, she wanted him to offer to make sure she got there safely. Another voice popped into her head. Meagan, good girls don't talk to criminals. According to her mother, all men who rode motorcycles were criminals. Good, the spare looks safe, but I'd get the bad one replaced as soon as possible. She could get lost in his eyes. Even though they smiled at her, she saw something sad hidden in them. I will. Meagan was willing to help take the sadness away. He nodded, have a good night. She hid her disappointment as he walked back to his bike. Thank you. He flashed a perfect smile. Any time. Starting his bike, he moved back onto the road and disappeared into the darkness. Meagan watched until the small light on the back of his bike was out of sight, before moving back to the driver's seat. Glancing to her right, she smiled, grabbing the leather jacket lying across the passenger door. She hoped that meant she would see her hero again. Heading back onto the road, she continued toward the cabin. A smile crossed her lips as it came into view. Her parents bought the cabin before she was born. They brought her up in the summers, though her father would only stay a week or so at a time. Meagan and her mother would enjoy the small lake and serene woods away from the city. She knew it was the perfect place to find herself again. Pulling the car under the covered area beside the cabin, Meagan unloaded the groceries and her bags and headed inside. Over the next hour, she opened the windows, swept, and put everything away. The cabin was fully furnished. Her mother didn't believe in living out of suitcases, so each bedroom had a dresser and wardrobe. It wasn't close to roughing it, but Meagan found it difficult to break with her mother's traditions. While she put her clothes away, next to those left from the previous summer, her eyes kept falling onto the leather jacket lying on the bed. Her thoughts drifted back to her chance encounter with Liam. Meagan loved the way he sounded when he spoke, his deep voice carrying just a hint of an Irish accent. She wanted his strong arms to envelop her, hold her close to him as his mouth claimed hers. A light shudder traveled through her, waking her senses. Without thought, she dropped onto the bed and picked up the jacket. Bringing it closer to her, she could smell the leather mixed with a strong masculine scent. Just his scent aroused her. She held the jacket against her, censored, her mind imagining Liam there. Her fingers played over her thigh, inching up her skirt. This scene has been censored to provide a safe and enjoyable reading experience for everyone. Waves crashed over her, carrying her along in ecstasy. After several moments, breathing ragged, she rolled onto her side, clutching the leather jacket to her. Alone. Chapter 3. Liam enjoyed the last curve, sighing as he slowed to enter the parking lot of a roadside tavern. Spotting the collection of motorcycles lined along the front of the place, he slipped his into an open space near the end. The engine quieted, but his senses heightened. Smelling the air, he glanced around, not moving. A moment later, the faint smell vanished, along with the feeling of someone watching him. Cowards. Liam swung his leg over the seat, his boots scraping over the loose gravel. Stopping on the wooden porch, he turned, watching another bike enter the parking lot. "You're late." The leaner man approaching him grinned. "Meeting don't start without me, so I'm right on time." "Hey, you lose something?" Liam's brow furrowed, and then he realized he was missing his leather jacket. "Left it back at the motel." He lied. "No need for more questions than I want to answer." They hugged. "It's good to see you, Devin. How was the road?" "Good. How about you? Still seeing ghosts?" His head
censored
to one side, watching Liam's reaction. "Not so much anymore." He lied. His clear blue eyes narrowed, and then he smiled. "I'm glad. It's time to move on." Nodding, they turned and headed inside. Loud rock music blasted them as the double wooden doors opened. The tavern wasn't anything special. The bar ran the length of the left wall, with round tables scattered in the center, booths along the back wall. A small stage occupied the right wall, with a pool table in the front corner. Two men with cues stood around, eyeing the table, wearing leather vests, t-shirts, boots, and jeans. Their vests showed off the same patch Devin sported on his jacket. The taller of the two bent over, lined up his cue, and tapped a blue-streaked white ball. It rolled gently across the table, knocked into the blue-striped ball, sending it into the pocket. The crowd watching the game let out a collective grunt. Each of them nursed a drink in one hand, and a woman in the other. Liam watched for a moment before heading to the bar. The older woman behind the bar leaned across the slick surface. "Hi, you're handsome. What can I get you?" She smiled, showing off the attractiveness from her youth. Dropping onto the nearest bar stool, "Whiskey." She paused. "You okay, sunshine? You don't usually drink the heavy stuff." "Tonight I do." His expression told her to let it go. Ginger had been serving drinks to the group for the past several years. She understood not to ask too many questions, but in return, they all made sure trouble stayed far away from her place. She slid the drink to him. He downed it in a single swallow and then slid it back. "Another." Ginger glanced at Devin, who took the stool next to him. "I didn't ask him." Liam growled. In the corner of his eye, he saw Devin give her a slight nod. She poured another. "Leave the bottle." She looked again at Devin for approval. Liam captured her wrist. "Leave it." He released his hold when he felt her tremble. "Sorry?" Ginger nodded, her pale cheeks now paler. She grabbed a towel and started wiping the bar down. Downing his second, Liam claimed the bottle, pouring another. An empty shot glass appeared in front of Devin. Snorting, Liam filled it. "I thought the ghosts were gone," he said, downing half his shot. "When I got here, I felt someone watching me." "Do you think it was him?" Sending another shot down. "Who else?" It wasn't enough for him to take Jules. Cheers from the pool table suggested some of the bikers won a bit of money. Liam paused, feeling female hands move up his back over his dark t-shirt. Heavy perfume filled his senses. It did little to mask her natural scent. "Wendy." "Hello, handsome." Her hands continued to move up his back, to play with his ear and hair. Liam shifted. "Shouldn't you be with Donnie?" "He isn't paying attention to me. I thought I'd see what you were up to." Her tone never left out the flirt and invitation. Standing, he grabbed the bottle. He turned to her. "Maybe if you weren't whoring yourself out to the club, he'd pay better attention." Her mouth opened, eyes widened as her hand moved up to slap him. "Who do you think you are?" Capturing her hand, not interested. He gave just enough pressure to remind her of her place. Letting go, he grabbed his glass and headed to a corner booth. "You're going to regret that," she spat, before heading to the ladies' room. No one followed, no one was interested in getting involved. The pool game started up again, as did the various conversations. All was normal again. Liam poured another drink. He got lost in his thoughts. Part of him responded to Wendy's offer, but not enough to do anything about it. Mating season was coming. Memories of Jules always came this time of year in a way it was hard to ignore. Other women could satisfy the physical need, but no one other than her could touch his soul. Now, with feeling Gerard coming at him again, it only brought the memories back stronger. Devon started the club meeting, leaving Liam to his bottle and privacy. Gerard tossed back a second shot of whiskey. His mind focused on earlier that evening. He watched Liam when he arrived at the roadhouse, wanting to rip his throat out right there, but Angus convinced him to wait. He wanted to make him pay tenfold for what happened to his mate. Then there was the woman who caught his attention. There was something about her, though he couldn't put his finger on it. She was the first to force him to entertain the notion of taking another mate. She looked meek, but Gerard could sense the strength in her. Chuckling, he decided Liam could wait another night. He couldn't pass up what the chance encounter offered. Flipping his empty shot glass over, he dropped several bills onto the mahogany bar. "Thanks." Pushing off the stool, he headed to the door. Ever-present Angus left the pool table and blocked his way. Angus was physically larger than Gerard was, but he would never dare question his authority. "What? Going out?" Smiling, his teeth bared just enough to remind him who was in charge. A breath of fresh air, you might say. "What of Liam?" "What of him?" "He's not going anywhere." Snorts, "He knows I'm here, he won't be able to resist coming after me." The
censored
in his voice spread through the bar. He smiled, watching the others look up at the sound. Turning his attention back to Angus, "You have a problem with that?" Sighing, Angus backed down. "I have ridden this hunt with you and won't walk away now. I'll be there when you're ready to deal with him." He sounded more like the brother Gerard had come to see him as. Resting his hand on Angus' shoulder, "No worries, brother. Tomorrow night will be his last." Angus nodded and shifted so Gerard could pass easily. The screen door banged behind him. Gerard pointed his bike back toward the grocery store. The man behind the counter knew her name. He had to know where she lived. He would tell Gerard, one way or the other. Chapter 4. Liam abandoned the bottle and disappeared out the door. The
censored
to be alone overpowered his pack instinct. Straddling his motorcycle, he took off, heading back up the highway. Enjoying the feeling of the wind on his bare arms, Liam realized he left his jacket with Meagan when he helped her. He smiled, thinking of her shy behavior with him. Closing his eyes, he allowed the memory of her scent to wash over him. She was the first woman since Jules to pique his interest on more than a physical level. He stopped his bike where he helped her change the tire and looked around. Part of him hoped she discarded the jacket, but another part, the part not willing just to let it go, hoped she kept it. Liam turned to take in the air around him. Smiling, he picked up a faint hint of her. He headed back to his bike. Continuing down the highway, he pulled into the grocery store, glad to see it still open. She mentioned a cabin. Liam figured this was her supply stop. Parking the bike in the shadows, he headed inside. Liam stopped as soon as he entered the shop. He picked up a mix of scents. Gerard's was one of them, but another was fear. Liam moved quietly through the aisles toward the strongest scent, fear. Stopping at the counter, he found a man, a deep cut to his
censored
on the floor, bleeding out. Liam dropped to his knees. "I'm not here to hurt you." He kept his voice calm, watching the man's eyes widen with his fear. Liam checked the wound. "This is bad, but I can help you. Will you let me?" Tom nodded his head. Liam tore Tom's shirt. Wadding it in a bundle, he placed it over the cut. "Hold this here." Once he was sure Tom was holding it as instructed, he stood and headed to the first aid supplies. Grabbing what he needed, he headed back to his patient. "There is no way to deaden the pain, but I need to stitch this up." He offered Tom a thick rubber dog bone. "I'm sorry it's not more, but it'll help." Tom took it, a weak but grateful smile. Placing it between his teeth, Tom bit down while Liam stitched up the wound. Liam worked as quickly as possible, both to stop the bleeding, but also to limit the pain of the needle. Wrapping the wound in a bandage, he helped Tom sit up, his back resting against the counter. "Who did this?" The scent on the air, now fading, told him his answer. "Some biker who was in here earlier." He wanted to know where Meagan's cabin was. His eyes widened. "I didn't tell him, but he went through the accounts and found it." Liam stood up. "Where?" Tom hesitated, but sighed and gave him the directions. Liam was gone before Tom could say anything further. He knew what Gerard was capable of. He maneuvered his motorcycle back up the highway and down the side road that Tom had told him. It led past 2 driveways, marked only by reflective markers. The end of the road curved. Liam rode his bike off the civilized road and into the trees, hiding it within a stand of thick brushes. A low growl escaped, picking up Gerard's scent. Gerard moved silently around the cabin, stopping at the back door. He thought about simply knocking and forcing his way in, but he enjoyed the hunt too much. He planned to make her his mate. What better way than to claim her after the hunt? He smiled, catching her scent. Turning the handle on the door, the lock snapped easily in his hand. Gerard moved into the kitchen, listening for movement in the lower part of the house. Hearing nothing, he made his way to the stairs. Footsteps on the second floor drove him up the stairs. He followed the draw of her scent. Stopping on the landing, Gerard smiled at the light from the end of the hall. The sound of gently splashing water suggested she was bathing. He moved against the wall, to stand just outside the half-closed door. A quick glance inside confirmed his quarry was relaxing in the bath, her head back and eyes closed. The room, illuminated by several candles, bathed her in a soft light. Gerard shifted, leaning against the door. He watched her soaking in the water, oblivious to her audience. Gerard smiled as the water cascaded over her full,
censored,
with each deep breath. Imagining his mouth on them brought his
censored
to attention. A low growl of arousal passed his lips. Meagan's eyes snapped open, fear seeping from her. The new scent was powerful, pulling at Gerard in a way no scent could. He enjoyed the scent of fear above all others. "What are you doing?" Her hands moved up, attempting modesty. "Don't you remember me?" Gerard shifted more out of the shadows so she could see his face. "We had such a first meeting." Meagan's eyes widened further. The store." Gerard chuckled. "See, you do remember. Now come with me." He stretched his hand out to her. Meagan shook her head, grabbing her towel to cover herself more. Gerard growled again, his teeth bared. "It wasn't a request." "Get out." The soaked towel wrapped around her in the water. Gerard closed the distance in a flash. His strong hand closed roughly around Meagan's upper arm, pulling her up and out of the water. Meagan let out a surprised cry, in fear or pain, made no difference to Gerard. He dragged her out of the bathroom, her small fists swinging, hitting his upper arm and shoulder. He liked that she had spirit. He would enjoy breaking it from her. Gerard threw her against the wall, wrapping his fingers around her throat. "You will enjoy tonight. It will be the first of many." He leaned forward, running his
censored
along her jaw. So filled with the enjoyment of her fear, Gerard almost missed the stronger scent that now filled his nostrils. Turning, he discarded Meagan behind him. She hit the floor with a thud. Gerard growled as Liam attacked him. Liam grabbed him, tossing him down the hall, away from Meagan. Liam lunged. Gerard rolled to get out of his way, but didn't fully make it. He felt Liam's teeth sink into his shoulder. Pushing off, he rolled Liam away. Once free, Gerard jumped to his feet, lunging at Liam before he could establish his footing. The force of the attack sent both men over the railing to the floor below. Chapter 5. Meagan held the soaked towel against her. She watched the two men as they flew over the railing. Now she was at a loss of what to do. The sound of fighting ended, with the deafening sound of them hitting the wooden floor below. She needed to call the police, but the cabin didn't have a phone. Leaning back against her bedroom door, she remembered her cell phone was downstairs on the desk. Meagan discarded the towel and donned a thick robe. Listening at the door, the house seemed quiet. Maybe he left. She cracked the door and looked as far down the now empty hall as she could. Seeing nothing, Meagan swallowed a deep breath and slipped through the doorway. She crept slowly down the hall, glad to have the plush carpet under her bare feet. Meagan reached the top of the stairs. Other than the overturned table at the foot of the staircase, she couldn't see either man. Meagan moved cautiously down the carpeted stairs to the bottom. Her phone was on the desk across the room. Looking around the room, she was alone. Meagan wasn't taking any chances. She sprinted to the desk and grabbed her phone. That's when she heard the low moan. He lay near the open door. Meagan opened her phone as she moved closer. 911 on the display, her thumb ready to tap the call button, but she stilled. The man lying on the floor, bleeding from what looked like a wound to his side, wasn't the man from the store. Liam. Meagan sat, dressed in a hoodie from her university and a pair of sweats, on the coffee table staring at the half-censored man on her sofa. His shirt gone so she could look at the wound, offered her a view of what she only imagined hid under the t-shirt. She wasn't a doctor, but it looked like he was the one who landed on the table, taking a cut to his side. It was an odd wound. There was a lot of blood on the floor, but as she tugged and trained to pull him to the sofa, it had almost stopped on its own. Meagan used the first aid kit to bandage it properly, and now just sat and watched him sleep. She didn't understand why he was there. Were they in it together? Sighing, she thought back to her bath. She was lost in a fantasy about a stranger on a large motorcycle riding up to her, sweeping her off her feet, and making wild, passionate love to her. Meagan shook her head to clear that memory from resurfacing. Her fingers started to move over her body, when she heard the sound bringing her back to reality. That's when she saw the man in the doorway. The one from Tom's store. Meagan's heart froze in her. Censored. At the memory. He told her what he wanted to do and seemed to enjoy her fear, though she tried not to show any. He had said so were the two men working together? Her hand went up to her upper arm reflexively. The pain from his grasp shot through her body as he forced her out of the bath. In the hall, yes, that's where things changed. Meagan remembered hearing a low, menacing growl like a wolf's, and then being thrown like a rag doll down the hall. She wasn't sure what she saw next was real. For a brief second she would have sworn she saw claws, but then one standing at the top of the stairs attacked the first. Shaking her head of the ridiculous thoughts, she discarded them as fear igniting her imagination. A quiet moan brought her attention back to Liam. Meagan froze, not sure what to do now that he was waking up. Slowly his eyes opened, beautiful green eyes looked at her as if trying to puzzle out where he was. Without warning, he bolted upright. His hand instinctively lowered to his side. He looked around, a low growl escaped. Meagan's eyes widened hearing it. Maybe she wasn't imagining things. Wait, you're hurt. Meagan reached out but didn't touch him. She wasn't sure how he would react, especially given the anger she could see in his eyes. Where is he? Liam shifted to stand. Meagan put her hands on his bare shoulders. His head snapped to look at her when she touched him. Meagan watched his menacing expression soften when he looked at her. He's gone. His expression relaxed further. Did he hurt you? His tone soft, the growl gone. The question and tone surprised Meagan. Just a bruise from where he grabbed my arm, but nothing else. She didn't understand why this man, who she only met once, cared. Worse, why was he there? Yes, he saved her life, but why did he break into the cabin? Liam must have sensed her questions. He turned, sitting up fully. I should go. Thank you for taking care of my wound. No, please. The elevation in Meagan's voice surprised her. She didn't know this man, but wanted to. Here. It's only water, but... She offered the glass of water, smiling when he took it. Are you hungry? Really? You're asking a man who broke into your house if he's hungry. Liam looked just as surprised. No, thank you. Placing the glass back on the wooden table, I should go. You've been bothered enough. Liam shifted to stand, Meagan stood with him. I wish you'd stay. Liam knew she was nearby, but he wasn't sure about Gerard, his scent still there but growing faint. A surge of pain from his side brought out a deep growl. Liam knew the next time he saw Gerard would be their last. Slowly his eyes cleared, taking in the beautiful worry-filled smile before him. He needed to get away. To stay not only put her at risk, his heart was at risk as well. Liam wanted to reach out and take her in his arms to protect her, while another part of him wanted to claim her as his mate. Did that make him any better than Gerard? He would never force her. He never had to force a woman into bed. If this one was to become his mate, it would be her choice. His
censored
would have to be held in check. Watching her, fingers trembling as she handed him the glass, Liam knew it would be easier said than done. Placing the glass back on the table, Liam stood. He looked at her, confused when she asked him to stay. Haven't you had enough of bikers for one night? She touched his hand, Liam's entire body responded. Having no choice, Liam took a step to one side to break the contact. Just being this close to her was difficult enough. Liam didn't trust his willpower with her touch, besides, Gerard was still out there. Now more than ever, Liam had to end things permanently. He refused to lose another mate to him. Please don't go. Liam expected to hear fear in her voice to match the tremble in her hand, but he didn't. His eyes locked with hers, confusion and strength blended with
censored
shone back at him. I need to make sure he won't be back. Liam broke the hold her eyes had on him, as he turned and walked to the door. His hand froze on the handle, feeling her fingers cover his. Stay. Chapter 6. Gerard pressed the torn shirt to his shoulder, cursing Liam the entire time. That is the last time he gets to walk away from me. Tucking the end, he sat back on his bike. He stared back through the trees toward the cabin. Gerard couldn't see it, but he didn't need to. Liam was there with her, and that was unacceptable. Gerard's thoughts opened his memories of his mate. Liam was only a young wolf then when he joined the pack, but Gerard didn't trust him. Sasha convinced him to allow Liam to ride with them. She was too giving and it got her killed. Gerard was going to make sure Liam suffered as much as she did. The sound of a snapping twig grabbed his attention. Turning, he was greeted by Duncan. You get lost? Gerard snorted. Busy. The others are gathering. We need to go. Duncan placed a firm hand lightly on Gerard's shoulder. Gerard looked from the hand to Duncan, his expression threatening. I'll be there when I'm done. He growled. Duncan's hand remained. Brother, it's been a long time. It's time to let it go. Gerard shrugged the hand off, stepping away from Duncan. That bastard killed my mate. Your sister. And you tell me to let it go? I know who Sasha was. I also know that you and I remember things differently. Duncan barely had the words out before Gerard attacked. His growl filled the night air, his hand on Duncan's throat. Straddling him, Gerard looked down at him, his eyes shifting, taking his control away. She was raped by him. He will die. Duncan's voice strained against the dangerous grasp. She seduced him. Gerard's eyes shifted completely, his hand closed and yanked back, ripping Duncan's throat out. Falling back, looking at his blood-soaked hand, his control returned. He looked at Duncan's body, as blood coughed out from the tear in his throat. Gerard moved over to him, lifted his head. Liam will pay for this. This is his fault. Duncan shook his head, unable to speak. Gerard held him until his raspy breathing stopped, and his body went limp. He will understand pain. He will die before the sun comes up. Meagan sat looking at Liam. Tell me the truth. What happened tonight? Why were you in my home? The questions burning through her mind gushed out, each buried the other before Liam could answer. After a few moments, well? Her voice jumped in volume as the turmoil inside spilled out. Liam sighed. I found the store owner injured. He told me Gerard had been there, and where your cabin was. I wasn't going to let him hurt you, so I came after him. Meagan knew there was more to it. Liam kept looking away, avoiding eye contact. Please tell me the truth. Who was he? His name is Gerard O'Connell. Meagan could tell Liam was wrestling with the decision to tell her or not. She sat on the coffee table and waited. Meagan wanted to know but forced herself not to push. Something hidden within her wanted him to stay. Yearned for it. The feeling was foreign to her. I met him a long time ago. I had just come from Ireland. He welcomed me into his clan, and I thought I found home. A woman in the clan expressed interest in me. By now, Liam had walked away to stare out the window. I thought she meant getting used to being here in America, but in a short time that changed. One night, she
censored
me. I pulled back. I didn't realize what she was suggesting at the time. Liam snorted. I was young and naive. I didn't return any feelings she may have had, and even if I did, she was Gerard's mate and untouchable. Meagan listened. A twinge of unexpected jealousy pinched her heart. I see, she said. Gerard found out, and is coming after you out of jealousy. Liam railed on her. No? You don't see. After that,
censored,
I left, got on my bike and rode as fast and as far as I could and never looked back. Eventually I met someone, Jules. The change in his tone had the jealous twinge biting at her again, but she continued to listen. Liam turned back to look out the window. I was gone over her in a way I never knew possible. She loved the open road and accepted me for me. Less than a year after we met, the clans were gathering. We joined them. I never gave Sasha another thought after I left. Liam sighed. I never considered what she would think or do. I ended up alone at one point. Sasha came to me and demanded to know why I brought that cow to the gathering. I told her she was my mate, and we'd come to make it known. Liam glanced at Meagan's reflection in the window. She tried to seduce me. I wouldn't betray Gerard or Jules. I pushed her off, she came at me, and we ended up on the ground. Gerard found us. He exploded with rage and in his attempt to get to me, killed Sasha. He blamed me then and now for her death. Liam ran his hand through his shoulder-length hair. Meagan could feel the turmoil raging in him. I took Jules to Europe. I never thought Gerard would come after me there, but he did. We were riding the Col de Torini in France. It's an amazing mountain road of dangerous turns and gorgeous views. Liam smiled over his shoulder at her, as if he wanted her to see it too. That's where it happened. Gerard forced us off the road. Jules died in my arms. He's hunted me ever since. The air was thick between them. That doesn't explain why he broke into my home and attacked me. Liam's back straightened. He came to claim you. Meagan's eyes widened. Claim me? I don't want him. I never gave him the impression that I did. Liam shook his head. It doesn't matter what you did or didn't do. He saw you and decided to have you. Meagan stood. What about what I want? She closed the distance between them. I don't want to be claimed by him. Meagan shifted to stand between Liam and the window. She reached up and caressed his cheek. I don't want to be claimed by him or anyone else, just by you. Meagan was surprised at her own boldness. She didn't consider whether Liam even wanted her. He looked down at her, his eyes telling her that he did. Liam bent down, cupping her face. He
censored
her softly. She covered his hand with her smaller one, returning the
censored
as she felt it tingle through her body. Liam's soft,
censored,
not demanding of more, awakened her.
Censored.
Meagan parted her lips, inviting him to demand more. Liam responded, his
censored
explored her mouth gently. Meagan's arms slid around his neck, as Liam's arms snaked around her waist, pulling her against him. The soft
censored
intensified. Meagan could hear her parents' voices chiding her for
censored
a man she barely knows. Her
censored
drowned out the continued scolding. Meagan's
censored
glided against Liam's, sending growing warmth through her, ending at her center. She let go to embrace the danger and excitement Liam embodied. Liam lifted her against him, her bare feet hung just off the floor. His arms were strong and held her tightly, but they didn't hurt. She felt his arm muscles contract, her soft,
censored,
crushed against Liam's solid.
censored.
Meagan loved the feeling of being in his arms. Her imagination paled in comparison. An unexpected whimper escaped when Liam pulled his mouth from hers. It turned to a groan when Liam shifted, claiming her neck with soft,
censored.
One hand moved up to stroke Meagan's hair, pulling the tie holding it back so it fell over her shoulders. His fingers played with the now freed locks. Where? Liam's voice, raw and demanding in her ear, contrasted the gentle touches. Meagan had to catch her breath to answer. Upstairs. Liam swung her around, catching her legs. He carried her easily up the stairs, cradled against his.
Censored.
Meagan pointed to the bedroom. Liam stepped inside, kicking the door closed with his boot. Once safely inside, Liam placed Meagan on the edge of the bed. She could feel wetness trickling inside, making the cotton panties she wore damp. Glancing at Liam standing in front of her, her eyes fell on his crotch. Meagan could see the outline of his hard,
censored,
straining against the material. Liam cupped her face. This is your choice. Meagan heard the words, but the way Liam made her feel silenced any sense of logic. He spoke to a deeper part of her, a part mute before she met him. Meagan responded by
censored,
the palm of his hand. Her other hand reached over and traced the outline of his.
censored.
Liam let out a soft growl. She had never been with a man before. She only knew her own fingers. Pulling her eyes away, Meagan looked up at Liam. Show me how to please you. She watched his expression shift from what she took as
censored
to something deeper. Liam captured the hand teasing his.
Censored, censored.
The palm and then her wrist. His.
Censored.
Dipped out, teasing her pulse point. Liam placed a knee on the bed beside Meagan, bent down and.
Censored.
Her deeply. Meagan went limp in his arms as a shudder rippled through her. Liam pressed her back onto the bed, continuing to.
Censored.
Her, one hand caressing her.
Censored.
Over the warm sweatshirt material. Meagan's.
Censored.
Hardened under his touch, her back arched looking for more contact. Liam obliged, slipping the same hand under the hoodie to tease and caress her bare.
Censored.
After the craziness of earlier, she didn't think of propriety and pulled the hoodie on without a bra.
This scene has been censored to provide a safe and enjoyable reading experience for everyone.
She listened as his heart slowed with his breathing as Liam drifted off to sleep. Meagan followed quickly after. Chapter 7. Liam's eyes flew open, searching the room. Glancing to his left, he saw Meagan still sleeping as strands of her dark hair hid her face. He moved the hair, gently caressing her cheek at the same time. Meagan sighed softly as she cuddled more against him. Liam smiled. She was beautiful, not just on the surface. He saw the beauty she protected so carefully. His first impression was frailty, but that was squashed quickly. Liam could see the strength Meagan had, even if she didn't act like it. He listened to her breathing, feeling her wrap around his heart. Jules was his mate, but he needed to let her go and move forward. Devon was right, it had been too long. Gerard came to mind, dampening the pleasant moment. Liam knew he would never stop coming after him, and that meant Meagan was at risk. Liam refused to put her in danger, even if it broke his heart to leave her. Liam.
Censored.
The top of her head. I won't be far, but I can't risk his hurting you. He slowly extricated himself from her sleeping form, and quietly slipped out of bed. Liam found a piece of paper and pen, wrote a note to Meagan and left it, along with the silver chain and pendant he wore for her, on the pillow. Turning to leave, he caught sight of his leather jacket lying on the chair. He glanced back at Meagan, then headed to the door, leaving his jacket with her. Without making a sound, Liam headed downstairs and disappeared into the full darkness of night. Liam knew Gerard came after her once, but decided to count on his wanting Liam enough to come after him first. He mounted his bike and headed off. Meagan woke, still feeling the warmth of Liam's body on the sheets. She smiled, thinking of him. Liam? Meagan called out, confused when no answer came. She sat up, noticing the note and silver chain. Her hair stopped, afraid to read the note but more afraid not to. Pulling her knees up to her.
Censored.
She read words scrawled on the paper. Forgive my leaving you to wake alone. If I could, I would change the world to be there when you wake. The pendant belonged to my mother, it's yours now. Trust me. Liam. Meagan pressed the note to her.
Censored.
Tears stung behind her eyes. She didn't understand what he was talking about, but something told her it had to do with Gerard. Pushing the sheet off, Meagan climbed out of bed and dressed. She pulled her hair back in a ponytail and fastened the pendant around her neck. Meagan grabbed the leather jacket and tried it on. Looking at herself in the mirror, she shook her head. If Mother saw me like this. Meagan rejected the thought as she smoothed her hands over the new form-fitting jeans, something else her mother wouldn't approve of. Time to let the old Meagan go. Meagan headed down the stairs, collecting her car keys along the way. She wasn't going to let Liam stand in this alone. Meagan's parents would have thought she'd lost her mind. She met him on the side of the road, slept with him after he saved her from an attack, and now she was rushing out to find him. Yup, crazy didn't come close. Climbing into her car, Meagan started the engine, as she started a new life. Meagan stopped at the tavern. Motorcycles still littered the parking lot. She took a deep breath before heading to the double wooden doors. Then took another breath as she opened the door and walked inside. The multiple conversations stopped as Meagan stood in the doorway, covering the panic threatening to send her running. Meagan swallowed, let the door close behind her, and headed to the bar. Ginger smiled. You lost, honey? Meagan leaned on the bar. No. I'm looking for someone. Ginger's eyebrow shot up. He's not here. Meagan was surprised at the response. I didn't tell you his name. Ginger snorted. Didn't need to. I recognized that necklace. You must be something special to have that, and his jacket. Her expression softened. What can I get you to drink? Meagan glanced at the woman sitting a few stools down. Just a beer. Meagan didn't know anything about beer, but didn't want to sound like she didn't. Ginger drew a beer on tap for her. The smile she gave Meagan suggested she understood. Meagan took a sip of the dark liquid. It tasted bitter. She tried not to make a face to give herself away. The silent conversation started again, and surprisingly Meagan relaxed more. Hey, she called to the bartender. Have you seen him tonight? Ginger stepped back over. Not since earlier this evening. He had a few, then took off. Seemed to be running from ghosts. Ginger stopped as she glanced at the women who sat next to Meagan. You looking for Liam? The voice was hard, sounding older than she should have. Meagan glanced to her right. Have you seen him? The blonde smiled. Not since we effed in the bathroom. She leaned closer. Meagan could smell the heavy alcohol on her breath. Honey, he was so hard for it. I was happy to oblige. Meagan glared at her. She thought about Liam, their night, and the note. She didn't believe the woman, but inside she wanted to run. She wanted to turn her car back to the city and her old safe life. Something kept her planted on the bar stool. Wendy. A lean man with crystal blue eyes leaned on the bar next to her. I've had enough of your shit. Donnie? At the call, a young red-haired guy moved toward them. You brought her here, you get rid of her. I don't want to see her skinny, lying ass around my pack again. Understood? The kid he called Donnie nodded, not hiding the fear in his eyes. The woman, Wendy, started yelling at them both. I am not yours to command, Devin McSween. She stood, the alcohol sending her stumbling back onto the stool. Meagan watched as Devin lowered his mouth to Wendy's ear. Meagan couldn't hear what he said, but the look in Wendy's eyes told her it wasn't good. Donnie took her by the arm and escorted her out. Devin didn't move, forcing her go around him. Donnie pulled Wendy through the doors. He could be heard yelling at her until the doors closed them out. Meagan took another sip, not sure of what to do. She swallowed hard when Devin took the stool next to her. Nice jacket. Meagan pulled it around her more. She watched as he motioned to Ginger, who poured a drink and slid it to him. What's your name? Why do you want to know? Meagan tried to sound brave and unconcerned by him. Inside her heart fluttered wildly, her stomach threatened to expel the small amount she drank. Devin shifted closer, but not threateningly. He lowered his voice. He's a brother to me. If you have his jacket, then you're something to him. Tipping the shot glass back, Devin emptied it in one swallow. Don't listen to Wendy. She's a liar and a whore. Meagan tried to cover her shock at his language. She never heard anyone call any woman that. There was rawness to both Devin and Liam that Meagan found appealing. Taking another sip, Meagan started to understand how they embraced life and she only existed on the surface. She wanted to dive into life's ocean without fear. Turning to Devin, yes, he means something to me. I can't explain why, especially since we only just met. I only know that I need to find him. Devin must have understood the emotion in Meagan's voice and expression. Liam can take care of himself. Feeling the frustration as well, Meagan took a longer drink and put the glass down harder than she intended. Look, I know what happened to Sasha and to Jules. Gerard is going to try to kill him. Please help me find him. Devin's mustache twitched at the mention of Sasha and Jules. He told you? Meagan nodded. She glanced around the bar, noticing the other men and women were engrossed in their own business. Gerard attacked me earlier tonight. Liam saved my life. Liam said he needed to end things with Gerard once and for all. She couldn't mask her fear for Liam. Devin nodded. I know where he is. I'll take you there. Chapter 8. Wendy pushed on Donnie's back, pointing to the tavern. Let me off here. Donnie looked back at her. Are you insane? Wendy rolled her eyes. Don't pretend like you care now. She climbed off the bike when Donnie stopped, the sound of gravel crushing beneath her knee-high boots. Wendy glanced back, blowing a
censored
to Donnie before she stopped outside the screen door. Wendy smoothed down her leather pants and adjusted her shirt to reveal more cleavage. Hearing the roar of Donnie's engine made Wendy glance back again before opening the door. Time for you to learn a lesson, handsome. The screen door banged closed behind her. Wendy scanned the sea of bikers looking the new piece of meat over. Wendy smiled when she spotted her prey. Striding over, making sure all eyes were on her, she stopped at the table with one man sitting and drinking. He looked up. What do you want? He watched in surprise when she sat down. I know where he is, better yet, I know where you can find the woman. Gerard watched her. Why would one of Devin's old ladies walk into my tavern to snitch? Wendy smiled, leaning closer to him. I don't belong to Devin or any of his boys. I could belong to you. Her tone was suggestive. Gerard smiled. Come on. He grabbed her hand and led Wendy through the back door. Pressing her against the concrete wall, Gerard ran his hand up her stomach. He captured her
censored
fingers and thumb, teasing a
censored
roughly. Wendy smiled, groaning with the touch. I like a man who knows how to handle a woman. Gerard snorted, shoved his booted foot between her legs. He kicked them apart. Don't worry, sugar. I know how to handle a woman like you. Gerard's other hand slid down, cupping her between the thighs. His fingers dug into the leather as Wendy ground her hips against them. Where? Gerard growled in her ear. Wendy's breath came in short bursts, not expecting him to take her like this, but enjoying the feeling. She gasped when the hand groping her
censored
suddenly moved up to envelope her throat. Where? Wendy looked at him and smiled. You like to play rough. Gerard put more pressure around her neck. Wendy's eyes widened. She told him what he wanted to know. Realization of her mistake came too late, as her lifeless body crumpled to the ground. Gerard took off on his bike, allowing his rage to wrap around him. Maneuvering his bike along the desolate road, he stopped and abandoned his bike. He disappeared into the woods, hunting Liam. Devin stopped his bike along the road. Meagan pulled up behind him. Climbing out of the car, she followed Devin into the woods. Meagan's eyes widened, hearing a loud howl. It was like nothing she'd ever heard. It sounded full of grief. What was that? Devin didn't answer, only continued moving through the trees. The howl came again, but this one was different. It was full of rage. Meagan put her hand on Devin's arm. Do you know what that was? Devin looked in her eyes. Meagan was sure the crystal blue eyes shifted to something more amber. You have to be prepared to take him as he is. Meagan's brow furrowed. I told you. Devin cut her off. No. Liam is not an ordinary man. Are you sure you want to know? This is the time to turn back, disappear, and forget about all of this. Movement behind Devon caught her attention. It was so fast, Meagan wasn't sure what she saw, but would have sworn it was a wolf. Not like a normal wolf, this was twice the size of any she'd ever seen. What was that? Devon grabbed her arms, turning Meagan toward him. Answer me, do you want to know, Liam? Meagan yanked her eyes away from the continued movement. She locked eyes with Devon. Yes? Devon nodded. What he told her was unbelievable. At first, she thought he was telling her a wild story that mythological werewolves rode motorcycles in Northern California. It was impossible, but what she saw just beyond the trees told her differently. Meagan moved forward, captivated by all of it. Her eyes widened as she took in the sight in the small clearing. Two huge wolves circled each other, fangs bared. One had darker fur with gray streaks. It reminded Meagan of Gerard's long salt and pepper hair. She looked at the other one. Liam? The larger wolf growled menacingly, before launching himself at the other. The two rolled, vicious growls filled the air. Both stood back up. Liam attacked Gerard again, this time his jaw closed around Gerard's throat. The next howl was a cry of pain, forcing the trees to tremble. The larger wolf moved back, the other didn't move again. Meagan took another step, entering the clearing. The larger wolf turned and looked at her. His fierce expression fell away, as he padded over to her. Stopping in front of Meagan, he waited. Meagan reached her hand out slowly. Liam closed the distance, pressing his head into her hand. 3 months later. Meagan stretched her arms out. Leaning her head back, she let the cool autumn air rush over her exposed skin. She left the leather jack open to feel as much as she could. Feeling the bike accelerate, she fell forward, wrapping her arms around Liam's waist, her cheek resting against his strong back. The smell of leather mixed with his own natural scent filled her nostrils. It was a heady scent. Liam eased the bike into the first turn of the Col de Torini route. The thick gold band on his left hand glinted in the sunshine. Meagan's hand slipped into his jacket, playfully teasing him. She laughed as he pushed the bike to go faster. Meagan let the wind take her old life, as she embraced a new life of freedom. Thank you for reading my book. If you like this story, I think you'll enjoy my book Barely Wolf. A big favor to ask. I would really love it if you could take a few seconds to leave me a review. Thank you so much in advance. About the author. Selina Coffey is a romance writer who lives happily in London with her husband and son. She is a hopeless romantic who grew up always believing in love, and she is not ashamed to admit this. It is this belief that makes her so passionate about writing crazy love stories. A stereotypical girly girl, she loves shopping. So whenever she gets a chance and the spare cash, you will probably find her browsing online for the next pair of shoes to add to her collection. You can find her online at www.selinacoffee.com. Contact her at hello@selinacoffee.com. Closing credits. This has been The Wolf's Ride. Written by Selina Coffey. Auto-narrated using Google technology. Copyright 2024 by Lovie Books Limited. Production copyright 2024 by Lovie Books Limited.